So we're back with another edition of GEN CFB. Still don't really know because it's not an episode, because it's not standalone, but I think
installment?
Yes. And if you're listening closely, that was not Jessica.
No.
It's Charlotte.
It's Charlotte.
It's Charlotte. Jess is off writing Brian Kelly to Michigan rumors. She's quite busy right now, dealing with very important things, so we brought in Charlotte.
Yeah, she's lighting up the message boards, and I was like, you know what? You do what you got to do. I will step in and talk to the lovely Lucy about college football.
Well, thank you both for service.
I just really want to confuse everybody by having two women with brown hair and glasses in the same. No, I mean, it's asking a lot of people, but I think they'll get through it.
This is a lot to process, right?
Are you okay, Taylor? Can you tell us apart?
What's my name?
I think I've got this one figured out. Lucy Charlotte. Lucy
Okay,
Charlotte.
good job.
Okay,
good job.
right.
Great work.
I was not prepared for the transition there. Okay, so we're off to a phenomenal start. Jim Harbaugh, we really didn't talk about it enough on the main show, leaving Michigan for the Chargers job. Wow. I mean, I think we all saw it coming, but like, this is so cool for college football and for me because I don't want to have to play Jim Harbaugh anymore.
It's so fun. I also, when he hired Don Yee as his agent, who is Brady's agent, I was like, oh, this guy is serious about going to the NFL, because as someone who covered the Patriots a lot when Brady was there, trying to get Don Yee's clients to talk to you is like trying to break into a safe in like Ocean's whatever. I don't know what number we're on now. And so I was like, oh, he's 1,000% going to the NFL. And then he did. Chargers, they got him. He was their quarterback for 2 years?
Yes. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm assuming he's like looking at houses in San Diego. No clue where the Chargers play now. My like take is that he's gonna live in the OC, because he's like, OC, offensive coordinator. This right here. This is where I want to live.
Lucy.
Good take, right?
That's it. The San Diego take, and then the OC take. We could just stop now. That's so true. Oh my God. You know he's made that joke. You know he said that to every realtor. Like, well, you know, I know a thing or two about OCs. And they're like, there's one. It's the OC. There's one.
We're going to spend a lot of time today memorializing Jim Harbaugh's time at Michigan. We didn't really talk about it enough of like what this means for college football specifically, where there were 4 teams in the college football playoff, and one of them is returning a head coach. And it's Steve Sarkisian. Out of all the 4, I wouldn't have guessed him. That would not have been my top choice.
No, neither would I. Who'd we lose? Saban, Harbaugh, Kalen
DeBoer. He hops, but it's still different. It's still different. And it's been wild to watch Alabama fans slowly just flip into delusion. It's actually been awesome for me personally, where they're like learning how college football works, and they're like, what is this about? I thought things were fair. Things have never been fair. Welcome to the other side.
Lucy, that's how I felt being a Patriots fan my whole life, and then Tom Brady leaves, and I was like, oh, being an NFL fan isn't fun.
No.
This isn't enjoyable. So Alabama fans, unfortunately I can say that I feel your pain.
I had like my first real interaction with the grieving Alabama fan over the weekend. Caden Proctor, who was an offensive lineman there, transferred to Iowa, which is like, whoa, wild step. He's from Iowa. He was homesick. It makes sense. But he was talking about how he wanted to go back to Iowa because of, the way that Iowa handled the season, and they didn't burn any bridges with him, and that when he was playing really crappy the first month of the season, Iowa reached out and was like, hey, you got it. You still do your thing. Like, we believe in you, whatever. And Alabama fans were like, they're tampering. These cheaters are tampering, and they're stealing our players. And what kind of world can we live in where people can just transfer wherever they want?
It's a cruel one,
it's
Alabama.
A cruel one.
My question to you, Lucy, that wasn't tampering, was
No.
it? I mean, when you say Iowa reach out, it's a nebulous, like, do we know who or how or what?
I believe it was the director of recruiting, which gives a little...
Feels a little tampery.
Also, little known fact, he is Kirk Ferentz's son-in-law.
Oh my God, stop.
Yeah, the nepotism, it keeps on going. It keeps going around. It was just more of like a... Caden Proctor was not good his first month at Alabama. Like, to the point where Iowa fans were like, nah, dodge that bullet. Welcome home now, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Oh.
But he said they just reached out and were like, you're okay. It's been kind of widely known that this player was really homesick and just, like, wasn't really, like, vibing with being so far away from his family, which they live outside of Des Moines. And so now he's at Iowa. And it's not that that's like a really big giant news, but it's been awesome to watch the downfall of
What
just,
have you
like,
seen?
sanity.
What have you seen? Where has this played out?
It's all been on Twitter with just like the people are like, you mean people can leave for more money and they can go to schools that are better? Like, that's never been done before. And you're like, bestie, this is like, look, it's a very just like, hey, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror, shorty. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, we're all here together.
I feel like looking in the mirror is a difficult thing for Alabama fans to do in general. And now, I mean, they didn't have to. They never had to. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Now they have to. And maybe they don't like what they're seeing.
No, this has been such a trying time for Alabama fans, and it's hilarious. Just like they're like, you mean there are no regulations on this transfer portal thing? And you're like, yeah, dude, it's been this way for a while. Like it honestly feels like a movie plot where they woke up 10 years later and they're like, what day is it? Give me the
They had
paper.
amnesia. Do you know the stupid thing that pops into my head is the Dr. Pepper commercial where the guy's holding the guy's hand in the transfer portal and he's like, I'm not going to let go of my Dr. Pepper. That Alabama fans are just learning that that's an Alabama fan.
And it's so delightful. And they're going to drop to 10 wins next year. We're going to be like, you losers with 10 wins.
10. Oh,
the
my God.
Alabama fans, it's very that James Franco meme where he's first time, brother, we are losing players every year in the portal.
We're losing them to you.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's like, where do you think all those guys were coming from, Bama? They were coming from us. They were coming from us.
Those corn-fed boys.
So, yeah, Bama down bad. But this is a perfect transition to an even more down bad team right now. Probably Michigan. I saw Harbaugh coming. I knew that he was going to leave. This Michigan team is not going to be nearly as good next year. They're losing all their talent. You won the national championship. It seemed like the perfect time for Jim Harbaugh to leave.
Yes.
And so we have a nice little top 5 to remember our time with Jim, what he did at Michigan, which was beat Ohio State a bunch of times and then do some real weird stuff. So you want to kick off our top 5? Or I'll kick off our top 5.
Yeah, you start
Harbaugh
us off,
moments.
Lucy.
I'm going to miss him. No, I'm not. All right, number 5. When his pants caught on fire during a game. I believe it was against Penn State where he stood too close to a heater on the sideline and burned a hole in his pants and had no idea. He had no idea that his literal ass was on fire.
How big was the hole? Do we know?
It was sizable.
So did someone have to slap his butt to get the fire out? I have questions, but
I don't really know how. I never saw the actual fire take place. I just saw photos of the hole in his the seared hole in his pants.
he just sat in a Gatorade cooler.
It was it was so cold it probably immediately went out. But, absolutely insane from Jim.
Iconic. Another iconic moment, Lucy, at number 4, when Jim Harbaugh was shirtless at football camp with khakis on. Now, I refreshed my memory with these images before we started recording, and it I don't really have the words for it because it's just you shouldn't be shirtless wearing khakis, and Jim Harbaugh probably shouldn't be shirtless at all, and so it creates confusion in the mind, I would say.
It's like my brain is like his pants, seared with that image. It's I wish
and a belt.
Yeah. Oh God. And he's the one photo of him like this. You can actually kind of see my stomach. So we're gonna not do that. Yeah. I am excited for those to stop circulating every time that Michigan's got a big game or anything like that. That's a positive of him going to the Chargers.
Yeah. Well,
right.
It'll probably circulate when the Chargers lose in the playoffs. Sorry, continue.
They've got 12 fans. They're not going to know that picture exists. They're not going to find it. I think
point.
we're good. Number 3, him going to attend a taping of Judge Judy. I have never seen anyone happier in my life than Jim Harbaugh just watching Judge Judy with his father there. That was the most. He did not have nearly that level of joy winning the national championship.
No, I didn't know this one. And the image of him, he just went. He was just in the audience at a Judge Judy taping.
He's a Judge Judy super fan. That's his gal.
Feels
we
right.
could say that Judge Judy is his Roman Empire for our Gen Z listeners out there, all 4 of us.
There's a tweet from March 3rd, 2015 from Coach Harbaugh. Big congrats to Judge Judy on signing her contract extension through 2020 from a devout fan.
deserves it. He deserves it.
Thank you for your
Oh my God,
content,
he's
Jim.
he's going to LA. He can go to more tapings.
Maybe that's why.
This
Maybe
all
that's why.
makes sense.
He was like, I will only go to Los Angeles. I need my girl Judy. Judy's going to be the defensive coordinator.
Chargers.
Get it?
I got
Judge.
it. I got it. That was good.
The defense rest. Okay, number 2 on this list is Jim Harbaugh's sleepovers with recruits.
Ugh.
Climbed a tree with a recruit. He washed dishes with recruits. The sleepover one I remember the most. I was like, I don't know.
Something about that not right. Something about that. I was like, oh, all right.
There's recruiting and then there's sleeping in the... Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird time. And he was like, yeah, whatever. I wonder if those same recruits he took to that breakfast place and ordered a hamburger and they got all those NCAA violations.
Oh, yeah.
There was
Maybe.
also
I'm sad that didn't make the list. I forgot about that.
there was also a clarification with the climbed a tree with a recruit.
Oh.
Somebody asked him about it. He was like, there was a ball stuck up there, so I had to go get it.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Call the fire department, Jim.
All right, number 1. Jim Harbaugh's many one-liners. And we have a separate top 5 from that. Charlotte, do you have any guesses of what is going to be on that list?
I feel like if there isn't something about milk, I'll be shocked.
There's got to be something about milk.
There's definitely something about milk.
It didn't make the list, but something that's very interesting, Harbaugh, was he was like really into spreadsheets. I remember him being like, I only like type stuff out on like Excel. Like I'm not
That
going to
feels
ever
right.
use a Word doc. I'm just going to
You know,
go on Excel.
when I was single, I used to ask guys who are annoying at bars what their favorite Excel function was. If they were wearing like a finance vest, they just lit up. Never seen men so excited in my life. And they'd be like, oh, I love a pivot table. And they'd be like, what's yours? And I'm like, I don't know how to use Excel.
That is so.
So shout out to Jim Harbaugh.
All right, when we come back, top 5 Harbaugh one-liners. Talk about a tease there. Wow, did I set that up really nicely?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
They teach you that at the University of Iowa Journalism School, let me tell you that. So, Charlotte,
Yes.
what's our top 5 Jim Harbaugh one-liners?
Woo! All right, we're starting with an OLI. And this, to quote the great Mr. Harbaugh, I don't know why I said it like that. I don't take vacations. I don't get sick. I don't observe major holidays. I'm a jackhammer. Oh.
Does his suspensions count as vacations?
No, because he was probably like in that tree that he climbed with the recruit watching over the roof of the big house.
He's like, he's standing on top of the hospital being like, I just did binocular glasses. I'm sorry to the audio listeners. Okay, our next OLI. I don't know if this is going as well as I want it to go. Okay.
It's going great, Lucy. Are you kidding me? Thank you. You're crushing it.
I needed to hear that. All right, next OLI. Jim Harbaugh said, I can work out in my khakis, and I do. They're similar to sweatpants.
I don't want to take his side here.
No.
But they are like cotton in their pants. Sorry, no, I can't.
No, they're not similar at all. Sweatpants don't have buttons.
Also, khakis don't stretch. You ever try to like squat wearing khakis?
Well, maybe he's like, I see like jean sweatpants on the TikTok shop all the time.
Oh, yeah, same.
They're hideous, but maybe that's like the brand he's doing. Taylor thinks it's Lululemon.
The khakis he's wearing? Definitely. The ones with the stretch?
But there's
For
no
sure.
way he knows what Lululemon
I'm nodding my head
is.
for the audio.
Yeah. We're great for the audio audience today.
I don't think he knows that they're Lululemon, but I think someone who bought them for him knows they're Lululemon.
Absolutely.
Maybe they have flame retardants on them so they won't
Catch on fire.
catch on fire. Okay. The next one, number 5.
Woo!
Number 5 is we fence. We don't play defense, we play we fence.
Yeah. Not an offense, not a defense, a we fence. And then he left. And then he left
That was it.
to take a different job. So, thanks, Jimbo. All right, number 4 was Jim Harbaugh saying that the chicken is a nervous bird. Jim Harbaugh was very much afraid of chicken. He thought if you ate chicken, it would like make you anxious because it was a nervous bird. He has since come around and said it's not, and that he has learned that chicken is good for you and it's delicious and that you can eat it.
So the one thing he's not wrong about is I feel like chickens are nervous birds. That does not translate to you being nervous if you eat chicken. Although I do eat chicken and I'm often nervous, so maybe he was onto something. Number 3, Jim Harbaugh. Anytime he talked about how much he loves milk, I was right.
Loves
this is
it.
on this list. The best one was whole milk, not the candy-ass 2%, which I 100% agree with.
I'm a skim milk girly, but
Oh,
maybe
really?
that's... Well, I like oat or almond, but I know that Jim would be like, he is going to hate L.A. He is going to hate all the oat milk. He's going to hate all the almond milk. That is not going to work for him.
Wait till he figures out they have hemp milk. Oh, my God. Pistachio milk, macadamia milk. Oh, my God, he's going to flip.
He is not going to be okay. It seems odd that he's like, yeah, I'll definitely drink this cow milk, but I won't even touch a chicken. All right. Whatever. It's cool. It's very chill. All right. Number 2, Jim Harbaugh's quote, if worms had machine guns, then birds wouldn't be scared of them. I don't know the context.
The context was he was talking about like he doesn't deal with hypotheticals. Somebody asked him like, if something happens, what do you think? And he was like, he dropped that bar. And I can't believe when you read this quote, your first thought is like, I'm happy this man is leaving our sport. Like
Yeah.
we need more Jim Harbaughs.
We need the content that comes from Jim Harbaugh. And Taylor, he is still going to be in the sports world. So it won't be as weird. College football is obviously the weirdest. So he might not. No, he's still going to be weird. There's no making Jim Harbaugh not weird.
I think it'll be worth it if Michigan beats Ohio State this year, despite losing everyone and losing their head coach, and I'm holding out hope for that. I think that will make Jim Harbaugh's exit worth it. Also, he beats the crap out of my team every time we play.
That's a qualifier that I don't have.
Yeah, he does that.
Lucy's ready for him to be
Although,
gone.
this is a side note, he could not win in Iowa City for a bit. He finally won. He got hit by a mail truck there when he was a kid and was just like, yep, it happens. And then he met the mail truck driver that hit him, and they took a picture together.
Later in life?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Wild, right?
We could have been robbed by... Never mind. Okay. Number 1. The locker room is like your mom's bathing suit. You want it to be in one piece. Bad one, Jim. Your mom should wear whatever bathing suit she wants.
Feminism. Welcome to Gen CFB with 2 women.
Yeah. Although you do want your locker room to be in one piece, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And that was like his last real weird one.
That's so weird.
It was really odd, but like I know he's thinking about these things ahead of time. I know he's writing them down. I know he's typing it up in a little Excel sheet. And I will miss like the Jim Harbaugh isms at Michigan, but we're still going to get them in the NFL.
Yeah.
And Iowa's got a shot now. Not really, but
Well.
all right. That's everything's fine. So some sad news in the college football world this week. UGA 10, I believe,
Yeah.
X passed away. This was the famous UGA that almost got killed by Bevo at the Sugar Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's tough.
He was my close personal friend, Lucy. I got to go to his house. I got to see where Uga lives. I got to see his wardrobe. He has a closet full of little dog clothes. I got to interview him. I interviewed the dog himself. The Seiler family has been raising these dogs since the beginning, I think. Also, fun fact, I also met Bevo, and the one thing that the people at UT say is like, don't ask about the UGA thing.
Whoa.
So yeah, so it's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that out loud, but it was years ago.
Is there something there?
Maybe. Anyway, he was such a good dog. He was so patient in his little hut with his little air conditioning unit. I'm really going to miss him.
He is the winningest mascot in Georgia football history. He was 91-18, 2 SEC titles, 1 national championship, 7 New Year's Six bowl appearances. He was the heart and soul of that Georgia team.
That's crazy.
He did more for Georgia than Stetson Bennett. I feel
Seriously?
pretty confident in saying that. All 4 of them, too. All 4 Stetson Bennett's he did more for Georgia football than
I always forget he's a 4th. Well, I'll go as a 10th.
Yeah, well,
So-
that's more special.
It feels like a Georgia thing, like a very SEC.
Yeah, you have to be named after somebody who's named after somebody who's named after somebody.
Yeah.
I know the new UGA now, we went to a few Georgia games this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't want to say on a tight leash because that sounds, kind of cliche.
Well, it is a dog.
They didn't really have, like, we went to the world's largest outdoor outdoor cocktail party, was not really there. Didn't really see UGA. They only brought him out for a little bit. It was also crazy hot that day.
Yeah.
Didn't really see him at the SEC Championship either. So I'm hoping that this new UGA can keep making the impact, keep their tradition going. It's a big legacy to live up to.
Big pause to fill. I think they're easing him into it. But now he's got to take over the mantle.